So how do you find the right psychic for you, or medium, or animal communicator? And that is the number one thing you want to know is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a psychic? Are you looking for a medium? Are you looking for an animal communicator, a teacher, a healer? Every psychic uses their gifts in a different way, and not every psychic has every gift. So if you really want to get clear about what it is that you want the outcome of your reading to be. If you're looking for information about guidance in your life and more information about life events, you're going to want to see a psychic. If you want to connect with deceased loved ones, you're going to want to find a psychic medium. If you are wanting to talk to and communicate with pets, you're going to want to find an animal communicator, and some work in deceased pets, some work in living pets, some work in both. So it's really important to figure out first, before you look into psychics and mediums, what is it you want to experience, what you want the outcome to be. If you really want support and getting to the bottom of why things are happening and how to change it, finding a psychic medium that is also a spiritual teacher that's going to explain things to you versus just telling you what they see, that's really important too. If you're not interested in that part of it, you just want to hear what somebody sees, and maybe why they see it, but not the in-depth information. You just want to see like the superficial stuff going on, then I would recommend not going to a spiritual teacher, but somebody that uses their psychic gifts just to tell you what they're seeing, because you might find that you're wasting your time if you don't want to know all the in-depth information. Finding people also that are healers, they're going to tell you what needs to be healed about your situation, where the blocks are, where the limitations are, for you to move forward. If you're not interested in that, again, you might feel like you're wasting your time and money. So it's really important first to look at what it is you actually want from your session. Then once you know, it's time to do your research. The research is really, really important. So in the first video in this series, we talked about how to avoid frauds and scam artists. So we're going to look deeper into that. So first of all, if you have friends and family that you really trust with their recommendations, ask if they've seen anybody. Have you been to a psychic? Have you been to a medium? And even if they have and they give you a recommendation, they love somebody, still do your research on them, because not everybody works well with the same people. So there's some people that might have great experiences with one psychic or one medium, and there's other people that might not. So really finding who you resonate with. So doing the research means talking to people and then going online. Do they have websites? Do they have Facebook? Do they have Instagram accounts? Do they have blogs? Really, reading what these people have written, what they have to say, if they have videos, really kind of, looking at who you're thinking about working with. Once you've narrowed it down, really researching that person in depth. Looking, do they have Google reviews? Do they have Facebook reviews? What are people saying about them? Another thing to keep in mind, personally, if I go to somebody, I want to make sure they're a light worker, which just means they're using their gifts in service to other people. Some people are just doing it for the money, and some people don't care and they just want their readings. For some people, they really want to feel supported in their readings. So, how does the energy feel about this? Are they just talking about everything they've accomplished and everything they can do for you, or do you get a sense that they truly care about what it is they're doing? Again, that might matter to some people, and it might not matter to other people, and either one's okay. It's just knowing where you stand for who you want to work with. So once you've done your research, then you really, we want to look at your price point as well. Psychics work based on what they can do. So their gifts, their experience, how long they've been doing what they do. And so the price will fluctuate. If they're really new to what they're doing, they don't have a lot of clients, they're going to be cheaper. If they're just psychics and they don't do mediumship, animal communication, animal healing, spiritual teaching, they don't do any of the other stuff, they just do mediumship, or they just do psychic, or just angel readings, that's going to be cheaper, generally speaking, than people that can do more of a more wide range of services. So the more services that they have, and the longer that they've been either in business or have had their gifts and really been using their gifts. So there are people that are born psychic mediums and healers, and there are people that take classes and courses. Usually, a lot of the really really good people. It's a combination of both. So, you know, how long have they been in business? You know, you want to look at that. What do they offer? And what do they charge for that? If they seem like they've been in business a really long time and they offer a wide range of services, but they're charging very cheap, that might be something to look out for. Unless they're not doing it professionally and this is just kind of a side hustle and they're just doing it for an energy exchange but not trying to like make a living off of it, then looking at that too if that's something that they talk about in the website or in their Facebook page. And then, you know, it's great to get readings from really great psychics and spend, you know, more money for those people that have more experience. But if it's really out of your price range at the time, then it's better to find somebody that can help you and that is more in your budget, because if you are very concerned about the price or getting the most for your money, like, oh my gosh, you know, I had to save up for a month and this was $500 reading for half an hour, you know, like you know, you're going to be really focused on, you know, on the value of what you're doing instead of really being able to receive and absorb and integrate the information. You're going to be very in your head. You're not, that's going to be a block. So either saving up or being in a space that you can afford the professional that you want to work with, or really looking at staying within your budget. You know, this is more of a luxury service. This isn't something that if you have to choose between, you know, going to the grocery store or getting a psychic reading, common sense, go to the grocery store. If you know, paying your bills or going to a psychic, pay your bills, because that's only going to create more problems for you if you don't have the money to do the things, the basic necessities. So are you in a place to really get a reading and to pay for it and to feel good about the value that is given? So psychics charge for various, you know, various reasons. One is an energy exchange, one is to support themselves, and so really respecting that too. And you don't want to ask for something cheaper. So their price is their price, and people sometimes say, well, it never hurts to ask. Well, it's like going into a store and being like, I like this sweater, can I pay 20 bucks for it instead of 100? And it's hand knit and the person, you know, spent 8 hours knitting this sweater. It's like, no, that's my price. That's what I value my time and my experience at. Take it or leave it. So again, you don't want to be nitpicky about price. Find somebody in your price range, or save up, or you know, maybe a reading isn't the best thing for you at this time. There's other things that can be more supportive than a psychic or a mediumship reading. So those are just some quick tips on how to find the right psychic for you. The other thing I want to add is don't get too fixated on physical location. So some people, you know, will be, well, I just want to find the closest person to me. Sometimes it's worth traveling, but most psychic mediums, not all, are comfortable working through Zoom and phone. And those readings are going to be just as accurate, sometimes even more accurate than if you come to a reading. If you're stressed out coming, or there's gonna be a lot of traffic or a long drive, that's not gonna be as accurate as if you're relaxed in your own space. So don't worry too much if, oh, that person's so far away. If they do phone or Zoom or Skype, that's gonna be, you're gonna get the same service. So when you're looking for a psychic, you might find somebody that's in another state and you're like, that person just seems, I just feel called to work with them, but they're 2 states over. Like, I'm not gonna fly to see them. Hey, they do phone and Skype or Zoom, it's still going to be a great match then. So don't hesitate, or call them and ask them if you're you know, feel free to inquire with them. Hey, you know, I see you do phone and Zoom. You know, how does that work? Just the same. I really want to schedule with you. Can you give me more information about that? And they'd be happy to answer those questions. So I hope that helps give you a little bit more information about what you're looking for, about how to find the right person to work with, because it's really important to find the right person. Don't just settle for somebody that your cousin saw if you just get a bad vibe or you just don't feel drawn to them. Do your research, really find who you feel drawn to work for. You might not even know why you feel drawn to work with one person over another, but follow your intuition on who's going to be best to support you with what you need at that time. So I hope that helps, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video in this series, talking more about when to get a reading and when to avoid getting a reading.